and that we estimated, that word is important, we estimated about $1.5 million for you all to have a new town building. That town building ultimately was going to be the fire police department project. At present, the police and fire department, at one point they were all one contiguous building. And then of course the fire department moved out and moved to another location, and the space that they originally had there at the town, the county ended up getting it from the town for $1 or something to that effect. But I only brought that up to say they were under the head of one building, and the administrator or supervisor for the fire department was the mayor. The HR person for the fire department is the administrator. The same thing applies for the police department. These are all supervisors. In theory, the mayor is a fireman, he just don't go out to the scene. It's the same thing for the administrator. The mayor is a police officer, he just doesn't go out to the scene. And I'm only bringing that to you for one concept, and that concept is that these are the supervisors, these are the HR persons, these are the managers of these departments. These are the persons who hire and fire all of these persons. Now, and I brought that to your attention because we're talking about a building that was authorized, a building that was authorized to be built for an estimated amount of money, an estimate. In the process of deciding to do this, the Georgetown County decided that they were going to go through a referendum and let the county people vote on it, and the county people voted, yes, we want a building, a municipal building for police and fire for the town of Andrews. And of course, the police and fire, what goes with that is their supervisors and office space and things of that nature. They passed the ordinance. You saw in quite a few documents we said that we have no problem with the ordinance because the ordinance is not relevant to this action. The ordinance has nothing to do with this action. We're not challenging nothing about the ordinance because the ordinance serves the benefit to the county. The ordinance is simply a follow-up with, I apologize, the referendum is simply a follow-up supporting the ordinance. The ordinance is supported by the state statute. So we have no issue with the referendum. There's no place for it to even be discussed here about any statute of limitation running out on us on the referendum, because we don't challenge nothing about it. The ordinance doesn't do anything. It doesn't affect us. The issue before the court is not the ordinance. The issue before the court is the issue before the court is not the referendum. The issue before the court is the content of both the ordinance and the statute. As counsel indicated, these things should be given the full intent of the legislative body that creates them. And we ask this court to do the same thing. Now, and based on that, counsel has presented his request for a summary judgment on the grounds that both the statute and the ordinance does not support the position for which the town brought its lawsuit. The town brought its lawsuit, as counsel indicated, where we asked for injunctive relief, writ of mandamus, and such other causes of action. One of the reasons we brought these things, and I'll try to touch each one of them before I go to my own summary judgment. One of the reasons we brought this action and immediately tried to get in the court on the matter, because once the commission created the town of Andrews as being the third thing, which ultimately ended up being the second issue on the ordinance for work that the capital penny sales tax is supposed to pay for. One of the issues is that we believe that the statute sets out the process and the procedure. The ordinance came along and supported what's in the statute And it went even further and said that, you know, they're gonna fully fund, which is additional language.
The statute are you referring to is 410-330?
410-330 and subsequent parts of it. It sets out that the things of which the ordinance can be created and what the capital penny sales tax can pay for. In the process, our project was accepted by the commission, and in being accepted by the commission, our project is subject to the payment and the procedural steps of the statute and subsequently the ordinance which supports the statute and goes even a little further by saying they will fully fund the statute. In the statute, it says that that the projects are supposed to be followed in their financing according to priority, that the project is supposed to be followed according to its financing. Once the commission and subsequently the county decided that the project costs for the town of Andrews was to be $1.5 million, and subsequently realized that the project was going to take more than $1.5 million, the county allotted, and I don't want to say give because that's going to come to another part of my argument, another $1.5 million because the project turned out to be more. When they were assessing that the project would cost $1.5 million in 2014, 2020 and 21, of course, the cost of building anything more than doubled or tripled. But be that as it may, in the process, the cost of building the building ultimately turned out to be much more than $1.5 million. Because it ended up being more than $1.5 million, the town asserts to this court in this cause of action that in the process of receiving monies, these monies are collected by the Department, South Carolina Department of Revenue, and is sent back down to Georgetown County. Because of the process of the monies that was received, instead of receiving $28 million, according to what the county expected, they ended up with what council indicated about $42 million. In the process of receiving these monies, the Georgetown County has to allot, not give, allot money for the projects in its priority.